What's going on, everyone? Alex Da Silva, happy as Larry Group. I hope you are well. And welcome to your daily dose of happiness. Ruby's here watching baby Jake. So if you hear baby Jake and Ruby getting on, then that's why. How's your week been? I can't believe it's Thursday today. And we are almost at the end of another week. And we are very, very quickly approaching May already. It's crazy how time flies. And do you know what the most amazing thing about that is? You know what? We are probably coming towards the end of this quarantine as well. Yay! And that's nice because, you know, every day that goes by is just another day where something's going to change. And that's amazing, isn't it? Isn't it amazing that, you know, everything has an end? You know, everything soon enough is, you know, we're going to get to a point where that's it. It's done. You know, we're at the end. You know, it's a new chapter. And that's the most beautiful thing about starting every single day fresh and really focusing on self-care. So I started the self-care episode yesterday, and yesterday I talked about stretching. I talked about sleeping. And today I want to talk about stretching. And the reason being is, hey Joe, and the reason I wanted to talk about stretching because there will be a pattern, and you will see as I carry on talking, you know, self-care is such a huge thing. I talked about it from the day this thing was announced. Hey Emma, hope you are well. What's up, Ian? Good to see you. And it's good to, you know, to really take care of yourself. You know, as I said, we may be coming towards the end of this soon. You know, we're coming towards the end of another month. But there is also the beginning of another month, you know, and like every single day, it's the end of a day, and it will be a beginning on another one as well. So every single thing we do, you know, there is always a new beginning. And self-care is one of those things that will always be there, you know, so looking after yourself, looking after who you are. And I talked about sleep yesterday, the importance of sleep and how important it is to make sure that you're getting enough quality sleep. And, you know, I said I've been struggling a little bit. I've been going to bed later and I've been struggling slightly, but started to get better because I wanted to get myself back into a routine. Woke up this morning, felt much better, got a good night's sleep, and I'm going to do the same tonight. So today I want to talk about stretching, and the reason I want to talk about stretching because it's something that I really didn't do enough, you know, before. But as I got back into training and as I'm doing more and more training now, especially for those who love a bit of CrossFit, or even if you go to the gym, it's so important to do that. And as the topic through these episodes is always going to be about self-care, today I want to talk about stretching and the importance of doing that. Not just from the fact that you're helping your muscles to loosen up a little bit after a long workout. You know, you're pumping more blood into your muscles. You're helping your muscles to, I guess in simple terms, to kind of to stay healthy, to carry on staying strong. Because what I found for me, and I'm only speaking from my experience, I have very, very tight quads and it affects my lower back as well. So for me, I have to stretch, you know, my legs. Thankfully, I've got, you know, quite strong legs, but what it does mean is that my quads, my muscles around my legs are very tight, tighter than usual. I've been to see, you know, I've had scans, I've had all sorts of, you know, MRIs, you name it, because they couldn't find out what was wrong with me before. And I started to have some fantastic physio, helped me to then realize actually you've got really, really tight muscles. So you have to stretch. So I did a lot of physio, got myself back into a really good place, and I started to realize, wow, it's really, really important for me to do that because it's longevity. You know, everything that we do, you know, even in life, we want to stay around, you know, so anything you do always goes back to self-care, and stretching is no different. You know, some people are a lot more flexible than others. You know, their muscles are a lot stretchier. Let's kind of use just normal terms. You know, they're a lot stretchier, and I don't want to pretend I know them either because I don't. But I do stretch. I stretch my quads. I stretch hamstrings. I stretch everything. I stretch my calves, and I literally go from bottom to top. I stretch everything. And the reason I do it is because I've realized, there is huge benefits to that. One, you're getting blood pumped into your muscles. You're helping also, which is you're also helping your muscles to relax as well, which is why yoga is so fantastic. I do some yoga. I try to do stretching as much as I possibly can. Now with the quarantine, Lucy and I started to do yoga quite regularly, and it really, really helped me with my training. I do CrossFit, so there is a lot of lifting. There is a lot of gymnastics movements, and there is a lot of cardio, a lot of HIIT sessions, and so it does really kind of take its toll on the body. And I was getting shoulder issues and elbows, you name it. It wasn't just legs. So I started to realize the real importance of that. And your muscles, after a while, you may not see it to start with, but it will then start to take its toll. And then one thing starts to affect another. And next thing you know, now I'm having to keep stretching every single thing now because I didn't take care of it. But now, understanding more and more the benefits of it, I started to realize, wow, this is actually, really, really good for me. So I do it in the mornings, just a nice, when I wake up, just normal stretch, get out of bed. Oh yeah, nice, brilliant. This is it. This is a start. When I go and make a bottle for Ruby, I have another little stretch as well. And it just helps the muscles to kind of just wake up. Do it gently, of course, because you don't want to start doing any major stretches cold with a cold muscle, because you could tear your muscles as well. So be mindful. But of course, speak to a personal trainer, speak to somebody who's qualified, a yoga teacher. I'm just sharing my personal experiences around this. So I don't want to give you any guidance around it because, I'm not qualified to do that. So, but I do want to talk about that self-care part because it is important. And I think the more and more we can start getting into that practice of self-care, which I've been sharing videos every day, I think pretty much since, this quarantine started. Everything was around, self-care, healthy mind, healthy body, healthy spirit. So it is really important, and try it. If you don't do it, if you feel stiff, if you feel sore, or if you're having issues with your back or shoulders or legs or knees, joints, that generally tends to be because you're tight somewhere, it's tight around particular muscles. And from my personal experience, that's what I found. And what I found for me is just stretching, like lower back for me is where I sometimes still pull lower back, and I used to think, I've pulled my back, and actually it's got nothing to do with my back. It's a muscle, it's T-band that runs on the side of my, in my quad, and it kind of attaches to my knee and my lower back. And I had to just stretch that and just keep that nicely stretched. And I do flossing as well, which stops anyone that suffers from sciatica. Oh my God, that is awful. Anyone that suffered, let me know if you have, because it's like being stabbed in the butt with a knife. Is horrible. And because I went from training 5 to 6 days a week, like intensive training with my coach, to all of a sudden training at home, which is not as intensive at all. My muscles started to seize and started to get really, really tight. So I had to start flossing and doing some flossing exercises, which kind of then flosses the nerves that are in between the muscle. And as you start flossing those, they start to loosen up. So stretching is really, really important. Yoga is probably one of the best ways to really stretch. Full body stretch, to get a full body stretch, which is what I was trying to say. But you can just use a roller, foam roller, and you can roll out. That will help. You can just do normal stretches, which you can find online now very, very easily. And as I said, everything that we do, always bear in mind, do things for the long term. How long do you plan on being around? How long do you plan on keeping a healthy mind, healthy body, healthy spirit? You know, I know a lot of people that just do it when they feel like they need to, but you're never going to get the full benefits if you're just doing something half-heartedly. And it's, well, there you go, Shell, you got sciatica, welcome. And there's one thing you should possibly look at, definitely look at, is flossing. And not tooth flossing, it's flossing for sciatica. And they're very, very simple exercises, and you can find it on YouTube, or just speak to the NHS, your GP, and ask them to give you the flossing exercises for sciatica. And it's something you've got to do. I do it every single day. I stretch pretty much every day, even if it's just small little stretches, you know, just to kind of keep myself mobile. I think that's so important as well. And as we start to get older, you know, things do start to stiff, you know, it's like we need to start oiling those joints. So making sure that you're looking after yourself now will prevent you from suffering later on in life. So the stuff that I always I'll send you one. I'll find the exact video and I'll send it through to you. I'll post a link on here so you can find it, and I'll send it through to you. So it is really important, guys. Everything that I've always been, you know, posting on the videos that I post on a daily basis, the people I've interviewed, I always do this stuff to show you that every single thing is a lifestyle. And I think the misconception I've seen, especially now, is everything is right, you know, get rich quick, you know, use this time now, you know, this is the time to make money, or, you know, this is the time, you know, for you to learn a new language, this is the time for you to get a course, here it is, blah, 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 blah. And it's kind of like, whoa, slow down. And people jump on that because they're in fear. People jump on it because they think, yeah, I need to do something now. You know, I need to lose weight in 80 days. I need to lose weight in 60 days. I need to lose weight in 90 days. It's like, no, you don't. You don't, because if you lose that so quickly, your body is going to go into, because again, I'm kind of just, it kind of goes into like a starvation mode. So once you stop doing something, this is why diets never work. Go and research it yourself. There was a documentary on Channel 5. So for those people who are in the UK, if you're watching a video, you don't trust me, go and watch that program. It tells you everything. They've done the science behind it, and it's all been, you know, it's time and time again, people have been proving these diets are a load of rubbish. So just be very careful and understand. So this is why everything I say, I am very mindful about what I say, because when I try to teach people, if I work with a client, if I'm working with groups, if I'm doing workshops, seminars, videos, I always say to you, this is a lifestyle. Apply this into your life every single day. That's when you see the results. Hey, Chris, I'm very well. Thank you, brother. I hope you're well as well, man. Look after yourself. It's really important that you're practicing this stuff every single day. You know, it's important that you're putting positive things into your life, you know, that you're creating routines that are going to help you to stay healthier, you know, to stay more motivated, to stay happier, more fulfilled in life. And I'm finding more and more and more now, it is so important that we spend that time doing that for ourselves, because, you know, our motivations, especially with the way that, you know, the communication and you know, the messaging that we're always getting. And I watched the TV today, you know, we're going through, so many people have lost their jobs, are unemployed, and I keep seeing TV adverts for people to donate to, you know, to this and to that has nothing to do with the coronavirus. And I'm thinking, hang on, where's the compassion here? Like, we need to be mindful that this is, and it's using people's vulnerabilities, it's using people's emotions, you know, to try and get people to donate, to save a donkey, or, you know, to save a horse. And don't get me wrong, I love animals, but I think there is a time and a place for things like this. And, you know, it's so I think just be mindful, you know, and make sure that everything you do, this is why I do the self-care videos, because, and each to their own. I'm not telling anybody what to do. This is my disclaimer. I don't tell anybody what to do, but I always try to guide in a really positive way, and always try to show people that, look, in order for you to get the best out of you, you have to focus on you. And it's not 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. It's keeping it simple, doing it one single day for the rest of your life. and that's it. And there's going to be days where you do things, and there's going to be some days where you might not, but that's okay. As long as you're consistent. Consistency is so important, you know, and not kind of putting so much pressure on yourself for things as well. So, so do that. If you haven't done it, then make sure that you get into it. Shell, I'm going to send you that video link so you can have a look at that flossing. It absolutely kills me, and you're absolutely right. The sharp pains, oh my God, it is the worst. It is absolutely the worst. I'm usually pretty good with pain, but that was probably one of the worst experiences of my life. So when I felt it coming a couple of weeks ago, that's the first thing I started to do, was to do the flosses. And I did it for a few days and it disappeared. And then I just carried on with my stretches every day. And and it helped me massively. So make sure, you know, guys, that you're stretching, that you're doing just basic little things. Be careful. Listen to your body. Listen, don't overstretch, don't overbend, you know, make sure that you're looking after yourself. It is very, very important that you do that. And get some advice. You know, as I said, I practice CrossFit. I love fitness. I love nutrition, but I am not qualified for that. I'm a qualified coach, life coach, and mindfulness practitioner, you know, and kind of that's what we do, and that's what I love. But in our daily practice, in what we teach as a company, then that's what we do. You know, we have personal trainers, we have yoga teachers, you know, Lucy's a psychotherapist, I'm a coach, we practice mindfulness, we teach meditation. You know, we stick to what we know, but we have some amazing people that we work with and train with who are phenomenal with this. So, Ian was saying here, you went for God, you were riding for 5 days, then had a backache for 4. God, I don't blame you, man. That's a lot of bike riding. If you're doing that straight, Jesus Christ. Stretch. Make sure you stretch, and stretch whilst you're warm as well. I think that's really, really important to make sure you do that, man. It's so important to make sure that you're looking after yourself and looking after your body. Because, see, little things like that, and especially if it's something that you don't do very often, when you do something and you just want to go out, and sometimes it might not even be strenuous, you might just be you're going out with family and kids, and next thing you know, you're riding for 5 miles or whatever, or you're away somewhere, and you go off on a ride, or you're riding every day for 5 days, and next thing you know, you're like, Jesus Christ, this absolutely killed me. And sometimes that happens with me. We're doing some exercise that I haven't done for a while. My body, because muscle memory, my body thinks, yeah, love this one, let's go. And, and having trained CrossFit for 2.5 years now, I kind of get into the very, quick pace of things. And, thankfully I'm very fit, but I've also learned to leave my ego at the door and listen to my body, because for me, as I said, and I've been saying throughout the video, it's about longevity, so what do you want to do for you? My question is always that, what do you want to do for you? What do you want to do for you that's going to make you healthier? What are you doing for yourself around your self-care? And it's just making sure that the little things that you're adding to your life are going to benefit you in the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. I think about, I've got a 22-year-old son, I've got a 15-year-old daughter, and I've got a 19-month-old, little girl as well. I'm married and I've got a family, I've got, incredible friends. And the things I start to think about now as I'm growing as an individual, as I'm growing, our business, I'm starting to think every single day, Ruby, she's learned to switch the switches on. So now she's just switched her favorite program off. There you go. Where did it go? Oh no, tell him what happened. What did you do? Did you switch the telly off? Did you switch it off? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, she did. Okay. Okay. All right. So, I'm going to go and turn the telly back on, guys. I think this is my cue to stop waffling. But look, as always, I'm always here. Leave your comments. Let me know how much you stretch. Do you enjoy stretching? Do you do it every day? Do you not do it? Do you only do it when you need to? Let me know your thoughts. What's your self-care plan around that stuff? So have an amazing day, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. And as always, be great, be fantastic, and be absolutely phenomenal today. And I will be back with another one tomorrow, which is going to be a good one. I'll speak to you then. Take care.